Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Sammons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today I'm very excited to be joined by Grant McKinstry, CEO of Digital Positioning. Grant's journey is a unique one, from accidentally failing in digital marketing with no prior experience to rising through the ranks and becoming CEO of a fast-growing performance marketing agency. Today, Digital Position helps brands scale through SEO, paid advertising, and digital-driven marketing strategies, working with businesses to turn marketing into a real revenue engine. Grant, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
It's a good intro. Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me. Good to be here.
Appreciate you being here. I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. I wrote that myself, but it's really cool to have you here and I very much appreciate your time. Grant, with all of my guests, I do actually like to start at the beginning of their journey. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you joined Digital Position, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, boy, I'll try to keep this generally brief, but I always wanted to play baseball historically. I had Tommy
Love
John
it.
surgery like senior year of high school, and that kind of screwed the dreams of that. For anyone that knows about Tommy John, it's like ulnar reconstructive surgery in my elbow. All that to say, I wanted to continue my journey in athletics, so I went to school for sport management, got into the business field, and understood a little bit of marketing in the back end of that. And then after college, was originally going to go work in an athletic department, went and signed a lease for a apartment, moved in with my girlfriend and moved back up to the state of Vermont, which is where I'm from. And then I was told after all of that that they were going through budget cuts and they couldn't hire me. A week after that, I was told that my car was a rust bucket and I need to get rid of it. So I had no job. I moved into an apartment with my girlfriend that I knew for a few months, and I was told that I need to get rid of my car. And I was like, I got to figure something out because this is not a good start
Rough
to
start.
post-college graduation for me. And one of my close friends up there recommended that I apply to a company called Dealer.com and to look into SEO. And they just said that they needed somebody who has good customer experience. And that's something that I had been involved with for a while before and somehow got the job. It was something I never knew anything about, didn't know what SEO was, but I took it, took the bull by the horns, learned as much as I could as fast as I could, and it worked out really well and it clicked really well for me. And I worked for there for about 3.5 years, tried to climb as much as I could, but really Dealer.com was a great place to get me started, but also I needed to be able to grow beyond that. So one of my friends that was at Dealer.com moved to Digital Position and then asked after 3.5 years, I was like, hey, do you want to look into something different? I was like, great. So it was like within 3 days, I sent them my resume, had an interview, and then got the job offer the next day. So it was, I don't know, a lot of growth throughout that period, but really once I jumped into Digital Position, it made me recognize that this place was very different in the sense that I was able to learn more in the first 2 months than I did at 2 years at my previous job. I felt a lot more passionate, more fulfillment, more ownership because it was a smaller company. And just the owners and everybody here just instilled a lot of confidence and trust in me to really like learn as much as I could between SEO to learning PPC to then learning operations and then climbing through the ranks to over the course of 3 years becoming CEO of the company. So tried to make that as condensed as possible, but that's the quick origin story, if you want to, so to speak, for me.
Yeah, beautiful. And I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I feel like obviously starting out in sports, anyone that's had that experience in their life naturally will end up doing so well in business, in my opinion, because the mindset you need harmonies so well with being, even if it's not your own business, just climbing that ladder, it works so well. And the fact that you found a good place to do so after a little bit of a rough start was really cool. I feel like when you align with somebody else in their mission, it makes it very easy for you to just input all of your beliefs and everything you've learned into that. So that's a really cool aspect. So let's dive into Digital Position a little bit more then, just so the listeners can have some context moving forward. So, Grant, at this point in, who would you say is your ideal client? Who is it that you guys really much love to work with the most? And then from there, how does it help them? And how would you
Yeah.
support them?
Yeah, absolutely. So our general ICP is like businesses between the five to like $500 million like annual recurring revenue mark. And generally we flourish with e-commerce businesses and we can break that up in any which way. But the primary way that we like to define like what digital position exists for is most of the companies that we work with come across this one single problem that we like to define as phantom progress. What that means is they have an internal marketing team, they have contractors or they have multiple agencies that are working for them that are spending a bunch of time and money that isn't necessarily amounting to the amount of growth or the amount of profitability that they're looking for. They're experiencing stagnation, which isn't particularly anybody's fault, but it's more or less an issue of the system that they're trying to operate out of. There's fragmentation happening all over the place. And what we want to do is we come in and we diagnose what their core systems are, so that we can bring all of these different pieces together. Because generally what people try to treat this as is you have PPC, you have SEO, you have organic social, you have CRO, but all of them are working independently and aren't talking to each other. And so we come in here and we are able to make that into a systematic approach of how do we define who your audience is and how are we talking to them as fast as humanly possible? And then how are we building a system around that so that we're bringing all of these different silos together to make a
Okay.
cohesive marketing system. So it's it's a combination of we want to make sure that the companies that we're working with are more like in that mid-market size, but also recognizing that so many people, once they get to that level, know that they have had things work within those silos beforehand, but haven't been able to piece it together to bring everything together.
Yeah, I love that. And it does often happen as companies start to grow or start to scale. Those fractures become bigger and bigger, especially if you aren't in unison. Across any department, it doesn't even have to be specifically in marketing. It can happen in sales, it can happen in the back end operation. That like unity in your messaging, in like how you're presenting yourself in the offer itself is so important when you are speaking to people, just to make sure everyone's on the same page and that those marketing channels aren't eating themselves and hitting up the wrong kind of people obviously just causes a lot of fractures. So I take it you very much dive into the trenches with these businesses and help them out on that front, or what is your style or your approach to it?
Yeah, so the big thing is one, recognizing that's the issue. Because a
Okay.
lot of times we'll have people come to us and they'll say, hey, I have a PPC problem or I have an SEO problem or something like that. And we are happy to talk about that and dive into the trenches of that specific problem. But we need to paint the bigger picture of once we do fix this, we need to look at everything together because this isn't the only way that's going to allow you to grow and be successful like you want to down the line. So that's the big piece is we can in every single conversation, we want to at least prompt them with that knowledge of, hey, there is a bigger picture beyond this because I know that everybody wants to grow beyond that. And then we will jump into an audit to then break that into the fragmented pieces of here is why things are so discombobulated or why things are disjointed. And here is how we want to bring it together because we want to do like a small brand study and understand who your core consumer is. Because the biggest thing that we are recognizing this day and age, and especially with AI allowing things to be so horizontally focused, is how can we take it vertically and go deeper in on that
Yeah.
consumer and make it more personable, make it a brand. And then we are there to then go and distribute that message out to the world from that point.
Beautiful, I love it. So yeah, after, as you say, it's often most founders, especially ones I talk to, it's often what they think the issue is. It doesn't necessarily be the big picture idea. So you have to really go in there, find that audit, find out really where you can be most effective, and then from there run to the hills. I like that you're looking at depth and obviously variety when it does come to marketing, but that depth is so key, especially with AI playing a big part in a lot of people's businesses at the moment, making everyone sound a little bit the same. So you are very much building them into that brand, making them that specialist, and just really hitting that consumer on that front end. Very cool stuff. One thing I'm very curious to find out though, naturally, with anything at the moment, it's such a busy such a busy world. There's so much noise going on. So like, how do you go about differentiating yourself and acquiring your own customers? What channels or methods are you guys really finding most effective at the moment in doing so?
Yeah, that's a big thing. We're really trying to figure out and get our footing into because there's so many different avenues that you can take, and there is such a saturated market of so many people sounding the same. And that's where we need to define our role within the space of what are we here to fix. And I think that phantom progress thing is something that a lot of people can latch onto and understand like emotionally. It's, man, I'm spending so much time on things, but where are we going with this? Like, where's
Yeah.
the progress? Like, I think there's this big mistaken understanding between activity and progress. So, all that to say, like, we are fully focused on how are we generating and creating our own content? How are we then doing some sort of outbound messaging system that ideally connects more to the people at the other side of the screen instead of just trying to, we are sending a lot of emails, but it's like, how can we curate this a little bit better? And again, emotionally connect with the people. It's like, we know we have something that will be able to help support you. And then additionally, community engagement is the other piece too that we're experiencing with a lot of the clients we work with and are also looking to impact with us, where again, with AI, it's so easy to spread in so many different directions, but it's have you jumped into a Reddit thread or like a Reddit sub or a subreddit or something like that and start to talk to people? Like, what do people actually give a shit about so that you
Yeah.
can understand it's like, how are we being part of that conversation? And not only does that help of just humanizing yourself as a brand, but LLMs are referencing Reddit threads all the time. So it's like somebody's even searching from an LLM, then ideally you come up in the conversation as well in some way, shape, or form. So it's, are you getting in there? Are you going into YouTube comments? Are you going to other comment threads? Are you going to Quora? Whatever it might be, it's just identifying like where are the people that are going to buy from you or want to engage with you? Where do they hang out? And how can you connect with those people more? So to us, it's how do we just humanize things a lot more? Because there are all of those ways that we can run ads, we can run outbound, we can do like content and LinkedIn posts, which is certainly another way to humanize it. But it's like, how are we just like showing up where they already are and then trying to become more part of that community?
Yeah, I like that fact. As you say, you're very much because yeah, you can do the norm, you can go and run a load of ads, you can very much just be on that content creator side, whatever journey you want to take. But you're actually diving into the comments, so you're at becoming one of them. You're almost like becoming one of the members of the audience, which is a pretty cool aspect. And then hopefully from there, just finding those right kind of people. Do you like leave comments to spark a little bit of interest and maybe draw a little bit more attention to you? Or is there any kind of nuances that you can leave us in that department?
Yeah, it really depends because certainly it's if anyone here knows Reddit, it's like if you just start to like
It's
self-promote,
a
they will
wild card.
you in there. So like it's one of the things where it's like I there's a like the saying of give until they ask type of thing. It's like how are you just trying to provide value? It's like really if it comes down to it, certainly there is a right time and place to be able to like make a pitch, but it's like realistically to your point, it's like how are we trying to be like them or inject ourselves to be with them? So we know it's generally a long form play, but we know that it makes sense because of where the world is headed with all of the
Yeah.
AI, and what that is causing to the entire industry and how people interact with each other and how much more valuable those genuine engagements actually mean.
Yeah. And so, as you say, so you're very much in there, you're leaving the comments. It is a longer cycle. So, how does that kind of lead into more of the sales cycle side of things? That kind of acts as more of a lead, but like inbound lead funnel, I'm taking it. And then from there, you just do the outreach like a normal process. Do you guys hop on the phone with them and then very much make that connection from there?
Exactly. So they can reach out to us in any whatever medium that we are
Yeah.
connecting with them on, and then that immediately will turn into a call. And then we want to just
Beautiful.
understand like where they're coming from. How can we connect with you? It's even if it's not on a business sense, it's just, I don't know, what do you do for fun on the weekends? And let's talk from
Yeah.
there. I genuinely want to become friends with the people that we're working with because it makes it so much easier for us to actually make this work faster. In some sense, yeah, certainly we want to stick to business and we want to grow, but it also it's like everyone here wants to it's the people business. Everybody wants to feel heard. Everyone wants to feel understood. So trying to make it as human as possible in the process
Yeah.
too.
Especially within the trust recession that people keep saying that we're in, it's nice to lean into that humanity a little bit more and pull away from like some of the more spoke about and traditional methods of marketing. So it's a really cool aspect. And I suppose all that being said, like what are your visions or ambitions for the company moving forward? When you maybe think of the next 6 to 12 months, what are those targets or those milestones that you're hopefully looking forward to achieving?
Yeah, I mean, we're in terms of the specific growth, I guess are you more asking of like revenue numbers or like initiatives that we're looking to approach with over that time?
Either or, whatever you're open to sharing, whatever is more applicable to you, however
Yeah.
you see your growth.
Yeah. So certainly there's like the top line growth that we're focused on, but in terms of how we're doing it is recognizing that one, I think conferences are a lot more powerful, or like gatherings or get-togethers are a lot more powerful than what they historically have been. Like we
Yeah.
all know that it's a very big networking game, but how can you like go out, host lunches, host dinners, get in front of people, like really shake hands, kiss babies for the sake of just saying the classic cliche phrase, but trying to be much more involved in that sense because we're a completely remote company. So having that in-person type of interaction doesn't happen nearly as often. And I think we've maybe taken it for granted of just how impactful it can be showing up, showing face, and engaging with these people face to face. So that is one thing where I want to see us grow more is being much more involved in that bigger picture because like even doing keynote speaking or just building these bigger campaigns or like pillar content pieces of how we are presenting ourselves as like subject matter experts becomes so much more powerful as time goes on as this reference and authoritative piece when AI is able to do the bare minimum on a lot of things really well. But again, it doesn't have that depth nearly as much. Positioning ourselves in that powerful stance of digital position as the people that truly know their shit. And they're really good at being able to define this for us and be able to fix this exact problem that a lot of people experience, but don't necessarily know how to define it. So we want to be able to make sure that we are the ultimate solution for that in the best way possible.
I love it. And yeah, bringing back networking, bringing back as a remote team, it must be nice for you guys as well in that aspect to just all get in the same room for a short period of time and express what you guys can do and really show off your skills. And as you say, lean into that speciality, make sure you get that depth you're looking for. And where are you probably finding the biggest challenge in achieving that or even making that happen at the moment?
Yeah, it's generally time. It's
Fair
like,
enough.
I know that's like not the best answer, but I think also in terms of there is so much, it's being able to cut through the noise too.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people struggle with is, man, there's so many freaking tools out there, and it's which one is actually going to do what I need it to be able to do. And that's where like team collaboration and bringing multiple people together is so much more impactful now more than ever. And then there's this stigma against having too many meetings, but it's if you're walking into a meeting and you don't have a core goal as to what the heck you want to accomplish out of it, you might as well not have it. But it's really trusting the team of people that you have around you to come up with these ideas and being able to provide or prioritize those properly, and then also make sure that everyone is thinking about it in the same objective at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
that you're ideally not just throwing a bunch of crap at the wall, but it's more guided types of ideas. So all that to say is like there's so much crap to filter out there, and being able to leverage multiple different brains, multiple different thought processes, and bringing people together in a meeting and just sitting down for 15 minutes and being like, hey, we want to know what tool we need to be able to use for tracking organic social so that we can be able to take this community engagement thing to the next step. It's so much more powerful than anything else. And it might be a really simple thing for most, but I think it's something that's getting lost very frequently in either remote work or people just being so head down within AI and just like trusting everything that it gives them instead of trying to be critical thinkers ourselves to figure out that proper next step.
Yeah, it's so true. And with AI, it definitely dulling people down a lot, especially when it does come to their businesses, generically making everyone sound a little bit the same and doing the same aspects. And as you said yourself, it's very good at doing those basic jobs very well. But if you're looking for depth, if you're looking for creative ideas, lean into the humans that are actually doing the work for you. Yes, like for us as a company as well, we have daily meetings because it's about getting and staying in sync. As you said, you want alignment within the business. You want people to come up with creative ideas. And sometimes there might not be a goal or an aim for a meeting, but that's usually where the best ideas are found is when you're just having fun as human beings and shooting ideas around each other and moving on from there. So it is about alignment, and those cracks will show as the business scales. It's like we were talking about before, as you get bigger and bigger, those little cavities become like trenches. So you have to make sure that whole team is aligned just to sew everything together and make sure you're all on that same mission moving forward. And Grant, we've run out of time, but thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out best to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best place is probably to reach out to us through digitalposition.com. I'm also on LinkedIn as well if you want to reach out and connect with me there. But happy to chat with anybody. And really, how we like to put it is any conversation with us, like the worst thing that'll happen is you'll get some free advice. So we'll try
There
the
you go.
best we can to guide you in the right direction, whatever that takes. And we just want to help people succeed and be able to see the future of how they can grow their business.
Beautiful stuff. And thank you again for joining me, Grant. I really appreciate your time today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to go and check out digitalposition.com. As he just said, drop Grant a message. I'm sure they would love to hear from everybody. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing and we'll see you on the next one.